Friends, hello, how are we doing? I'm very excited on this day because it's lovely to be doing a live stream for you guys. I can see some familiar names in the chat already, which is amazing. Hello, hello, hello. This is a really cool live stream for me because it's the kind of realization of a huge bucket list item for me and one of my dream come true situations, which is to celebrate a drum sample library that is my drum sample library, which is flipping amazing. I'm so pleased that this whole project came together to get into the flow of it. And for old time's sake, I'm going to play along to a TesseracT song just to break the ice and loosen me up a little bit. And I'm going to use my samples, my actual samples. Let me show you this thing real quick. Look how good this is. Look at this. Anyone recognize that drum kit? That's my DW acrylic kit. It's beautiful. It sounds amazing in real life. And I think we've done an amazing job capturing the actual sounds and the essence of this kit in the sample library. So, without further ado, which scene shall I have for playing? Let's try... The overhead's probably the best one because you can actually see what I'm doing. Right, give me 2 seconds. Let's turn the microphone off. What do you reckon? It sounds alright, doesn't it? Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Let me just get my screen open again. What do you think, guys and girls? What do you reckon? I'm so pleased. I think I have to start by celebrating the fact that this thing exists, because like I said a moment ago, having my own drum sample library is like the biggest one of the biggest items on my list of like subjective, not even subjective, like objective successes as a drummer. Do you know what I mean? Like for a company to be like, yep, I'm going to work with you and make this thing that you want to exist. And, you know, they're the biggest company, arguably, in this world of, like, sample libraries and drum sample libraries. At least in TesseracT's world, you know, we've been using this stuff for years. To actually have this be a reality is so huge for me. And to sit behind my kit and have my actual sounds is just ridiculous. I had a moment a couple of weeks ago, once I got like the final version of the library installed on my computer. I had this moment where I was stood next to my kit. I just received this new kit from Roland as well, and I was stood next to this kit, and I'm like, what on earth is my life? What is even going on? I've got my acoustic kit open on a screen next to me, and when I hit this nice, lovely Roland kit, it's triggering these amazing sounds. And it was just like one of those moments where I stood back and I'm like, what even is going on? How did it end up here? So yeah, for everyone that's been supportive and a part of this journey so far, all the people that do my lessons, all the people that tune into the live streams and just support me and TesseracT. Thank you, because really, you know, this all happened as an accumulation of all the work we've put in, but also you guys caring enough about the band and about the projects that we work with. So thank you so much. So why Toon Track? I suppose that's the first thing, isn't it, right? Well, you guys may or may not know this, but Toon Track, I mean, they've been around for ages making sample libraries, not even just drum sample libraries. They've been making all kinds of sample libraries. Back in the day, way before I was even in TesseracT, this is in like 2003, 2004, when Acle first started writing TesseracT ideas in his bedroom, back in Milton Keynes, back in the good old days, before we had the internet and mental health problems. Acle was using Toontrack products. He was using, I think it was Superior Drummer, one of the early versions of that, and one of their early sample libraries, Drum Kit from Hell is what it was called. And he was using that for the drums on these TesseracT demos, right? So Acle will be joining us in a minute, chat, by the way. Around 11, what time is it? About an hour's time. You were promised Acle. Acle will be here, believe me. I'm doing my thing first, and then Acle will join us, and we'll tag team it. So we were using Drum Kit from Hell, and Acle was writing these demos in his bedroom, and I wasn't a part of the scene at all at this point. I was in another band, and I didn't know anything about Acle until the guitarist of my band at the time sends me a message with a link to Acle's MySpace, and he says, "You got to check this out. Listen to this. Oh my god, the drums are so good." And I listened to it, and I was just blown away. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this guy! What's he even doing?" It was the perfect combination of kind of what Meshuggah were doing, in that, you know, using these odd syncopated polyrhythmic modulated ideas, and it still grooves, but there was probably more melody in what Acle was doing. He was messing with like all these like ambient soundscapes and things in the background, so it was heavy and it was melodic. I'm like, oh my god, this is the perfect music. This is so good. And I didn't realize it was just him in his bedroom. I thought the drums on this has got to be some insane drummer. This has literally got to be insane. Like, it's some person that I've not heard of who's going to absolutely blow up. And it was Acle clicking it in with a mouse using flipping Toontrack samples. And he was literally, I can show you what happens. Hang on a minute, I've lost my screen. 1 second, I can't see you guys, and it's fairly important that I see you guys. So he was clicking on things, and they were making noises in a computer, and that's how the first bunch of TesseracT demos came to life. And that's honestly still how TesseracT demos are born. We program in these ideas using Toontrack. We use Superior Drummer 3, and to click the throne. I don't think the throne's going to make a noise. It's just me squeaking if you click the throne. Yeah, that's just thrown me off completely. But we were clicking in these ideas. Oh, Acle was clicking in these ideas, rather. And it sounded like real drums, and that's the beauty of having access to this software, is that you can make realistic sounding drum parts for your music without a drummer. And then when a drummer enters the fold, they've then got this kind of perfect version of your idea to try and replicate. And that's been my job in TesseracT for quite a long time, was to try and get as close to these mad ideas that Acle was giving birth to in his bedroom. And really, I mean, I'm not, this isn't an exaggeration. Without the Toontrack products and their software, I mean, TesseracT wouldn't be doing what we're doing at the level that we're doing it at, because we wouldn't have had the ease of writing all this stuff. You know, the mad mathematical ideas that we've got would have been way more difficult to make. And as a bunch of creatives in the chat, I'm sure you know, if you put enough resistance into the chain of creativity, it just stops working. So they've made it as easy as possible to come up with amazing ideas. And frankly, my drumming wouldn't be what it is today, because I'm able to compose and learn this stuff by programming it in to Cubase and listening to Acle's ideas as well. So for real, like, I just want to show some appreciation for Toontrack for what they're doing, because it's enabling people like us and people who are starting out on their journey as musicians to come up with ideas that are the true representation of their ideas. Like, they don't have to worry if someone can immediately play this thing, but they have got this piece of music, this idea that they can then give to a drummer to go and learn or to try and play. What it does breed also, while I'm saying that and I'm giving all this thanks, it does breed a whole like league of unrealistic guitarists who are like, hey drummers, play this, and it's just like kicks going and impossible blast beats and things. But that's the whole point of creativity, and some drummers can actually do it, which is amazing. It's testament to them. So huge thanks to Toontrack, and can we just get a huge thanks to Toontrack in the chat, please? Anyone that's using the Toontrack stuff, just throw up your hands and say thank you, because it is flipping sick. There's a few more things I want to talk around. I've got a couple more songs I want to play for you guys as well. So I'll play a song and then we'll talk a bit more about the library itself and what we did, how it all came to be, and I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite presets and that kind of stuff. We've got some song options. Let me just pull this up. Sorry, it takes me a second to flick between windows. Let's do one thing that I didn't have working for some reason is I know why. 1 second, guys. I didn't have metronome a second ago when I was playing Nocturne, because I was plugged into the wrong input on my sound card. So that was my problem. This should... Yes, okay. All right, guys. This is another song from our last record, and I like it, and I hope you like it too. I'm going to have it on this view while I do it, but I'm going to switch it over to the Toontrack page so that you can see the lovely drum kit in action. You'll still see me though, don't worry. Wait a second, I paused it up. There we go, now you'll see me. Let's try that one again, shall we? Just hit rewind. I haven't played this song with this sample library yet. This is so sick. Two seconds. Just had to refresh something. What happens is when my mouse are on this little tray, they bounce around, and it just happened to bounce around and open the team viewer window, which is not particularly helpful, is it? It's helpful if anyone wanted to hack the stream, but you can't do that anymore. Right. Let's get back to my lovely Infinity Grid. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. So, I know some of you in the chat have already picked up a copy of this, and I'm super grateful for that, as I'm sure Toontrack are. It's been amazing seeing the feedback so far in my Discord and on the clips that people have been posting. And for people who are not aware, we ran a Toontrack TesseracT competition that was called TesseracT, which is a pretty cool name. And we gave away a drumless TesseracT demo that's like a new demo, and it is a demo that we were playing with for like the next round of material, so you guys got to hear a little clip of something that isn't out yet, and it's pretty cool. And we had like I think 60, just over 60 total submissions so far, which I'll say so far, it closed 24 hours ago because I needed time to listen to them all and make a bit of a shortlist, because we can't possibly show every single one of them on this live stream. But me and Acle, what's going to happen is myself and Acle are going to listen to the shortlist that I've made, and we're going to choose the ones that well, Acle's going to choose one, I'm going to choose one, and we're both going to choose one. That's how it's going to work. So there's 3 winners who are going to win a copy of EZDrummer 3, an EZX of your choice, and if you don't already have this delightful one, you'll be able to grab this, the Infintiy Grid EZX. And then the person who comes out on top, for whatever reason, we're not sure what it's going to be yet, is also going to win a copy of my new MIDI pack that came out a week or so ago. And it's like 500 or so performances of random grooves, modulated grooves, syncopated grooves, polyrhythm grooves that I played around with over the past year or so. And they're all based around grooves from War of Being from TesseracT album. So it's just playing different ideas over that album, which I hope you enjoy. So let's dig into the sample library a little bit more. All of that's going to happen a little bit later. Let's dig into the sample library first. So the main reason that I wanted to make this thing a reality is because, first off, I want to sit behind this drum kit and like play my actual drums. Like, which name a drummer that doesn't want to do that, right? The sample libraries that we got these days are amazing, but I think drummers are still trying to, at least I was trying to do this. I was trying to make a sound with other people's sounds that was how I hear my kit, and that didn't really exist. The closest I found was the modern metal EZX that Toontrack came out with a year or a couple of years ago, and I really like playing with that. Pretty much everything that I've put online in the past few years has been that. Really, really nice sounds. But even then, I'm like, I wouldn't say compromising, but it's not my sound. It's not the sounds that I'm used to hearing when I'm sat behind a kit. So we started up a conversation with Toontrack, and they were really open to the idea of making this a reality. And these things, they take time. It's not just like a quick message like, hey man, do you want to make this? Yep, cool. Let's book a studio and do it. It's not quite as quick as that. There's lots of conversations, and it took about maybe a year from the initial conversation to it all kind of getting booked in the calendar, and then another year until it got released. So we're at least 24 months into the project at this point. But I knew where I wanted to go, like to record it, which was Nashville in the US. I knew who I wanted to work with, which was my friend Steve Blackman, who's a ridiculously good engineer. And I knew what I wanted to create. So it was kind of an easy conversation for me with Toontrack. And like I say, they were really open to it, and it all came together. And it was about a year ago, actually. It was the last week of November. I think maybe the 30th or 1st of December, something like that. I drove up to Nashville. I took my DW kit, all of my cymbals. Meinl are also in Nashville, so they were able to bring a load of extra cymbals over, and it gave us a massive, massive library of options to choose from. We didn't end up recording all of the instruments that we brought in because there was just so many options. So we got to pick and choose the ones that were the most complementary. And one of the wonderful things about a session like this is that you get that time. We were in the studio for, I think, 8, maybe 9 days total doing this. The first day was just kind of getting everything set up and sounding nice. And then we did a little bit of sampling. And just so that you guys know what goes into this, sampling a drum kit is a bit like this. You go, and you do that for a long time. You do that for 8 or 9 days on different instruments. Hi-hats take about 4 hours because there's all these different articulations. There's that. There's all these, there's like 7 or 8 different articulations, and then there's the tip and there's the edge. They have to do all this different stuff. How much coffee was ingested? Asks Joseph. A lot. I did drink a lot of coffee during this session. But it ends up being quite a meditative process because you end up hearing things in the sounds and in the room, in the drums, in the cymbals that you just don't ever hear normally because you're not paying that close attention. But if you hit a cymbal and literally listen as close as you can for the moment that it completely decays, and do that a few times, man, it settles the brain. It's a really wonderful thing to do. I'd never really done that before. So how many cymbals to choose from? Oh man, I don't know the exact number, but I can walk you through some in a minute. So we had 3 drum kits in total. Let's get into the kits here. So they're all going to look the same. We haven't made graphics for each of them, but we made the Toon Track guys, rather. I didn't make this graphic. The Toon Track guys made this graphic of my lovely looking drum kit, and I love the little detail where they put my signature on my butt, on my seat. That's really nice of them. We had the acrylic DW kit, which is 8, 10, 12, 18. So, and then I have a 16 over on my left-hand side. My main snare, which is a stainless steel snare, which I absolutely love. And then the kick, which is a 22-inch kick. All of them I had Evans heads on, G2 top, G1 bottom. This was a heavyweight head, and this was a EQ3, I think. And then all of the cymbals. It's my Meinl setup. I can't remember every single cymbal in my setup for some reason. I never can. But if you go to the Meinl page, it's all listed on there. And in fact, it's going to be in here, isn't it? If I hit these things, this was the Meinl Byzance Extra Dry Thin, and you can go through and see which they all are. And they sound flipping delightful. And the thing that I was excited for with this pack is that we've got 2 hi-hats. You've got the main hat over on this side, and then the auxiliary hat, which I'd always had to add an instrument to a drum kit for that to happen in the past. And oh, dropping my drumstick like a professional drummer. Having that aux hat really makes a huge difference to my ability to be able to play grooves and actually stay in time. I'm not that good playing over on this side, but anyway, that's not really important, is it? Let's talk about the different kits. So we had the acrylic kit. We had a Purple Heart kit as well, which is a wood that I've been massively interested in because I don't know really the difference in what these things sound like until you get into a studio and you can like A/B these things. If I'm being totally honest, when drummers say, oh, you know, this drum's got this kind of sound and this one's got this kind of sound, unless you can literally hit them in a studio environment next to each other under the same mics and switch them out and then go and listen to them in the control room, how on earth do you make a decision on what kind of wood do you want as a drummer? You know, how on earth does anyone make that decision, or what material? Because obviously my main kit is acrylic. And being able to do a session like this really helped me narrow down the sounds that I like. Now, I really, really love my acrylic kit, don't get me wrong, and I'm so glad to have that recorded here. But the let me just get back to the normal kit, original mix. So you got like basic mix, which is, it sounds to me, that one, as though I've just put some overheads above my kit in a nice sounding room. You know, it's just, if that was my in-ear mix at a show, I'd be super stoked because it's just clean and to the point and it's not cavernous and it's lovely. And if I just turn my microphone off, like, it's clean. It's not super processed. That's really what my kit sounds like when it's just, it sounds like you just got some ear protection in. Yeah, it's clean, right? But then the thing that I love about these EZX is that you get all of these amazing presets because we can do that. Toontrack are giving you some amazing presets out of the box, and so is Acle, and he's going to talk about those, and so is my friend Steve, who's made some amazing sounding presets for us. And they used the different kits. So if I go to like Lucid over here, and that loads up, this is the acrylic. If we go to Nova, this is the Purple Heart. It's just got to load a second. Let's give it a second on my aging laptop to just load all of the samples in so it's not clicky. There we go, that's close enough. So, oh, it's so meaty. It's so huge. Right, compare what we just played a second ago. So, I've got to take my mouse off of this little tray because it's bouncing all over the place and it's opening up stupid Windows notifications. Let's put it on the ground. There we go, that's better. Sounds so flipping good. That sounds so flipping good. So that's the Purple Heart. Compared to the acrylic, it just has more depth. And for the first time, I can say, oh, it's got some more like warmth, like because you can kind of hear it. Now I know some of that is the preset as well, but it is really, 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 really nice. Let's go to the. I think the Onyx kit has the mahogany. So. Now, the tone of that floor, listen to that floor, right? That just keeps going. Like, what a flipping nice sound that is. Now, I had one of these kits years ago in the UK when I lived there. It was a DW maple mahogany. It was lovely. And I don't think I ever got it to sound quite this good, though. Let me just play around with this one a second for you guys so you can get to hear it. Now, in my opinion, and maybe I'm biased, but also I'm right, that's ready to just throw into a song. Like, if your drums sound like that in your compositions, that sounds flipping amazing. That's so flipping good. If you guys have got questions in chat, by the way, I've seen a couple drop in. Yeah, please keep them coming. I'll try and spot them as I'm talking through ideas. Someone mentioned a moment ago, had I, let me see, I've lost it. Had I recorded in that room before or something? I had recorded in that room before. That's why I chose this studio. So going back to a little bit of the lore around this sample library. So the first session that I ever did with Meinl back in the day, in like 2022, I think, 22, 23, can't remember, a while ago, was in that room. So you can find those on YouTube. And Steve was actually the guy that made the drum sounds for that. So I knew that I wanted to work with him because it was just like, oh man, that's a flipping good drum sound. And in fact, I'd quite like to work with him for the sounds on a TesseracT record because of how good he got it to sound. Someone was just asking in the chat, what's the splash symbol? The splash, that one is an 8-inch Byzance traditional splash. That's not the one that oh, is that the one I normally use? I think I use a 10 normally. If I go to here, there'll be a couple of splash options. The 10-inch vintage is what I normally use, right? That's the one that I normally use. You've got the Byzance Extra Dry as well. So those are the 3 splashes that we recorded for this. which I think came out real good. Do you want me to show you the cymbal sounds that we got? Let me talk you through these. So we recorded 3 crashes up here. Some of them have got, let me see, I think some of them have got 3 positions and some of them have got 2 positions, like the hats and the china. I think we recorded 2. So we wanted to give as many options as we possibly could, but we wanted the actual kit, like the way it all fits together, to feel complementary, because hopefully you guys would agree the cymbals and that I've chosen for my kit have been the complementary, right? They kind of fit together nicely, and that's been super important. Rather than just kind of choosing random ones, I've wanted to really dial that in and get them to work. Like my big 22-inch crash that I have up here, that's like a super washy crash. I just kind of want to create this big sound that isn't too cutting with that one. Whereas these are a bit more cutting. I need my stack to sound a specific way. I need the china to sound a specific way. But I need it to all gel, like within a mix, and just sonically for the audience as well. I don't know that anyone other than the drummer would understand what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. You hear a cymbal and you're either like, nah, I don't know about that. Same with the snare, same with the kick, same with any instrument. You know the sound that you want to hear when you hit it. And that's what we went for with like each of these collections. So we did my collection and then another couple. So let's oh no, is it not working? Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't working for a second. I was worried something had really broken, which wouldn't have been good. So we've got 3 cymbals up here. That is super trashy. The third set that we went for was just super, super aggressive. Then we've got the main cymbal I use normally, a super thin cymbal that was really kind of dark sounding. It was like a jazz crash. And another thin crash. Those two are very similar in like tone. It's just the pitch that changes. And I prefer the pitch of that one, the one I normally use. Splashes, we already talked about those. Crashes, we've got the main crash that I normally use, which sounds like you're hitting a ride. It's huge. We have the 20-inch dark crash, which is the one I was originally using back in the day in those early Meinl videos. Then we've got the extra thin hammered crash. All super lovely. The stack. Okay, that's not my normal stack. We've got 3 stacks. That's the J stack, which is flipping great. I'm so grateful to have recorded that. That to me is how a stack should sound. There's not like a weird shingy sound afterwards. It just does its thing. Then we've got an even faster stack. Then we've got an even faster stack. High-pitched, fast stack. So you got 3... My one's kind of trashy compared to the other ones. The other ones are much faster, but I don't know. I'm biased towards my one. We got a couple of pairs of hi-hats. We got the Foundry Reserve, and what's the other one that we got? The extra dry. So we switched the hi-hats around in case you want to have the you want to have either of them here or either of them there. Then our lovely chinas. We've got one of them is actually a crash. We've got the Equilibrium, the dual trash china, and then the Byzance extra dry trash crash. It's got to be that 20 for me. All of them sound lovely, but literally that is so nice. And then the Polyphonic ride and the extra dry medium. We recorded 2 rides because they take flipping ages to record and we were running out of time. But really, that's still the ride of choice for me. It's a very crashable ride in real life, and I think we recorded it well for the library. And then snares. I haven't even talked about snares or kicks yet. Let's talk about them real quick. So snare drums, you've got options. You've got flipping options. There was the main snare that I used, which is the stainless steel. The Purple Heart, which matched the kit, which was beefy. Super nice. The Bronze, which was flipping, like, hit hard. It was a really, like, the ghosts are lovely. It's got so much crack though. When you give that a good, like, rim shot, that is flipping insane. Then we've got the Collector's Maple, which is actually a snare that I bought for tracking War of Being, and we used it on like one verse on the album. So it's not had much use, but I wanted to capture it for this library. And we went with a higher pitch tuning for this one. It's kind of a dry snare though, isn't it? There's not loads of overtone in that one. If you're doing like a pop track, that could work really well. Then we got a Slingerland. This was an 8-inch snare, so it was super deep, and you can kind of hear that. Then we had a Ludwig, a classic maple, which super attacky again. Really deep sound in that one. They're nice sounding snares. Honestly, I'll be happy with any of these. We've got the maple mahogany to match the kit. That's nice as well. That's maybe a little too dry for me to use as a main snare, but it's nice to have. Then we've got a couple of ridiculous ones. We've got the solid, which one was this? DW Series Super Solid. Again, kind of a deep and dry, loads of thwack. That sounds like it's super thin, but it's still a 6.5-inch drum. We just tuned it up pretty high. And then last off, we've got the brass, which is another one of mine. It's the solid brass. The thing weighs like a flipping tank. It's insane. And that one, the maple, and the stainless steel were my own. The other ones were all rented in. And the stainless steel is what I've been using with TesseracT for the past few years since War of B. And it just, we were listening to all of these snares in the studio, and we tuned them the same. And the stainless steel just had that edge to it, which was real nice. So you got all of those snares, which is pretty awesome. And then you've also got a bunch of kicks. We did 5 kicks in total. The acrylic, the Purple Heart. There was a 24 Purple Heart and a 22 and a 24, sorry. So you can finally just hear the difference. You've got like way more low end in the 24, and it's making me want a 24 now because I love how that feels when I play it. And then the same with the maple mahogany, 22, 24. And again, I love the 24, but the 24, I think it was the maple mahogany, was really, it was shallow. It wasn't a very deep kick drum. And the shallowness kind of didn't work for the sounds we were going for. So we put the Purple Heart kit in front, kick drum in front of the maple mahogany, and made this giant kick drum tunnel, and then put the kick drum mic in the port of the Purple Heart. So we made this giant like 40-inch kick drum, which sounded amazing. I mean, you can hear it. Like especially when you just do a little low rumble, I can almost hear it. You know what I mean? It's so nice. So there we go. We've got some flipping amazing sounds. We've got some awesome presets. The one I've been using the most out of all of them, I've been playing around with the Steve Blackman's presets quite a bit. The Hybrid State is the one I keep going back to. Oh, 1 minute, it's just got to load in. I'm trying to do too much and the computer's like, no. No, we don't want to see what Trump is doing. Sorry, I'd got my... I keep making the same mistake with this mouse. I'm on autopilot. Let me play you through another TesseracT song for you using this delicious hybrid state kit. And then I'm going to take some questions in the chat if you guys have got any. Acle's going to be joining us in about 20 minutes. We just need to set up a little Zoom call for him to join into and set up TeamViewer again. What snare drum is on Polaris? I've got no idea, mate. That's a good question. Acle might have a better idea. The snare drum samples on that, it's probably going to be a stack of samples. You make the sound once and it triggers the transient from another snare, and I know that's a trick that Acle likes to use, but I'll let him talk to that because he can probably answer it better. So let me get back to where I need to get to. Hello everyone. You can see my face for a second while I set this up. Let's do this one. That sounds nice, doesn't it? There we go. So those are the sounds that we recorded, and I could not be happier as a human being right now. Like I said at the start, it's a realization of a dream. So Acle's going to be joining us in not too much time, like about 10 minutes, something like that. I think I've got time for maybe play through one more song for you guys. Let's see if we've got any questions in the chat before I play through one more song, just before Acle joins. But yeah, thank you. Like I said, in a moment we're going to be doing the competition thing, the TesseracT competition winners. And thank you to everyone that entered that. We've had 60, I think, people submit something, which is flipping insane. Messenger, please, says... I haven't got that one loaded up, so I can't do that one, unfortunately. We got any questions in chat? I'll give you a couple of seconds, because I know it's going to be a little bit delayed between me asking the question and you receiving it on your end. A question isn't a TesseracT song name. A question is something that has a question mark at the end of it. It is one. Reckon you'd be able to pick out that kit if you heard it in a release that wasn't TesseracT? Oh, that's a good question. Probably after all of the processing that's happened, like when people make music, no, I don't think I'd be able to tell that it's exactly my kit. But if I was to A, B, C, and D, a bunch of different kits, like back here, I think I could probably tell which one was mine just by the feel of it. You get really familiar with your own sounds, and I think we've done a really wonderful job of recreating the kit. Not just the kit, the kits. You know, there's a lot of options here, and they all sound really nice. That's a good question, though. How on earth can you get your F-Note kit to have no latency like mine? I was talking to Acle about this yesterday. So there's a few components to getting zero latency. One of them is a good audio interface. So, because I have a little bit of latency every now and then, you guys might have noticed when I hit something, it doesn't trigger every time. Like one time in every 1,000 or something, it just goes nope, and that's because of latency. But if I start increasing the buffer on my end, I get you either get audio glitches or you get latency, and I've kind of found this Goldilocks spot with this computer. Good computer is job number one, and a good interface is job number two. If you have the money to get something like an RME interface, that's like super low latency. We were using one of those in the studio recently, and we had like next to no latency. I'm using a Focusrite, and it's pretty good, but it's there's a bit of latency there still. It's tricky. You just need to have good components all round, and you get zero latency. So what genres aside from prog will the kit be good for? I mean, anything, literally. Like the sounds that you make, it's kind of up to you. Like what I could hear this in metal, I could hear it in pop, I could hear it in pretty much any genre. I don't think it's limited to just the type of music that TesseracT do. I think if you're a drummer and you enjoy these sounds, then you could use these sounds over whatever music it is that you're playing. That'd be my honest answer to that. Is this better than Matt Garsker's one? I don't know the answer to that because I haven't played with Matt Garsker's one. I do not know, but I like it a lot. This would be my answer to that. Right. What's the one piece of kit, shell, head, tuning, habit you're most protective of because it defines your sound? I don't know that there's one thing, if I'm honest. I think it's just a collection of things that I've dialed in at this point, and that was really the point of trying to record this library, was to get this collection of sounds that I've dialed in, really, really dialed in, as accurate as possible. I knew Steve could do the job. I knew that Toon Track were the team for the job as well. So, one more song, and then I'll invite Acle to the chat. Acle's watching, I think, so he knows when to jump in. Acle, I know you're watching. we're going to need to restart Zoom because it cancelled, and we're going to need to. I'm going to need to send you a new team viewer so that you can control my computer. Acle's going to be remoting into my computer to control the things that you guys hear. We've done all this technology over the past couple of days, and it works, but we just need to set it up. Roger Dodger, there we go. He knows what I'm talking about. Play one more song for you. This one is, let's see. What is it? What shall I do? I'm going to do the big boy. I'm going to do War of Being, because that's really the biggest celebration of this kit, isn't it? My stool was sliding back as I was playing that. I didn't know if I'd be able to play them hurters. Yes. Lovely sounds are lovely, aren't they? Flipping right. So, we will take some questions at the end once Acle has joined. I just need to switch to a screen that you guys can only see me while I give Acle secret codes to join the stream. So give me a second while I set this thing up. I may need to leave my stall to do this because my computer over there is in the future. One sec. Oh no, I think it's going to work. Let's see. 1 and 2. Yeah, that works. That works. Acle's going to get that video. There we go. All right, Acle.
Recording
Acle,
in progress.
Join whenever you like, sir. TesseracT Secret Society. I saw that in the chat. And then I'm going to give you a link to control the computer. 2 seconds. I'm just pasting the link in our chat. There you go. He is going to be with us in a second.
Hello.
There he goes. You are muted, I think, mate.
Should be good. It's good on my end.
He won't be in a second.
Recording stopped.
Hello.
Oh, hang on. No, you're not. You're not muted. I'm stupid. Say hello.
Standard.
Yes.
We work.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello, friend.
Hello,
Hello, friend. Welcome.
Sounded good.
Thank you very much. It was
Let's get this team.
lots of fun so far. You get to where you want, and I'll put it just on. Yeah, have you got to show anything on the screen that is going to enable people to take over the stream?
No, you should be good. If you open
Cubase.
Cubase and go back to that Superior Drummer session we had going, because I'm used to Superior Drummer.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny, you had a Spinal Tap moment earlier. You were showing off one of your floor toms. You went, listen to the sustain on that. Got the bite to eat.
Okay. I'll let you take it away. You can team viewer in and snap things, can't you?
This is actually going to work. It was working earlier. It actually works.
It actually works.
I don't know where to start because you've gone over all of it, really.
Well, talk us about... I mentioned like the very early days when you were using... What was it that you were using back in the day?
Yeah, I was going to chip in on that. I was 16 or 17 and I was using DFH1, drum kit from Hill 1. And you had to use... They hadn't made their own interface yet. You had to use battery, Native Instruments battery. So it's this external sampler. So it was very early bare bones, but their demos on the website sounded amazing. So I've been using it. I'm 40 now. Using it for almost 25 years. That's scary,
over half of your life.
I know, it's terrifying, isn't it?
Oh my god!
Yeah, they are like the the OG drum sample library that have always sounded good.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, like the stuff that you used to post, I didn't realize that it wasn't a ridiculous drummer that you'd found, and it was a full band. And I remember saying to like the guys, it was the Araya, the band I was in at the time, and I was like, oh my god, I want to meet this drummer. And then I found out it was you and a mouse, and it was then so much easier to make it happen because you lived not too far away.
I mean, I was thinking when I first opened this drum library, when I first got it from Toon Track, like the infant version of it, the first thing I noticed was just just the cymbal sounds just sounded really refreshing and just natural. Like, I don't think there's been many minor cymbals on Toontrack before. There might have been the odd one or two.
They did one with Dirk Verburen, Chappie was strumming with Megadeth. They did one with him, and there was loads of minor in that. But I don't think the sounds that he has gone for were the type of things that we'd necessarily use. So it's, as you were just saying, like super refreshing to have these.
Yeah.
I mean, the sounds that we're used to hearing, I guess, on stage in our ears, but also from recording More B, and it's literally the same cymbals. In some cases, the literal exact one that was on that record, because I haven't broken them. So they're still going. The China that I was using is like 4 years old or something, which is mad.
You haven't broken it yet. There's still time.
Still time.
Oh, well, I remember. Can you press your original sound for musicians on?
Sorry, mate.
Zoom.
Yes.
Otherwise, I get it in mono and it sounds like a LimeWire recording.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Try now.
Stereo. Oh, you sound so glorious now.
Stereo. The future. So, what was the...
Yes.
Like,
I was going to say the cymbals.
Yeah, go on.
The cymbals are the first thing. I barely had to touch them. There's just a little bit of high mid thing that I'm taking out, but only like 6 dB or something. These are on the presets, which are included in the drum library. But this is just like a go-to thing I always do with cymbals anyway. I'm always carving out those high mids and the typical honky low mids. It's not that much, but besides that, I didn't really feel the need to do much else to it.
It's a nice room, that room that we're in. Like,
yeah.
I'd quite like to track some future TesseracT stuff in there. But that would potentially involve you guys flying over here, which is like,
Or get Steve out. And
we'll just team viewer in, like we're doing with this.
Yeah, it could work. I noticed you were favouring, is it this kick drum, the Purple Heart kick?
Yeah, the 24.
24. I gravitated towards that because obviously that's the one you used normally, the acrylic one. Which sounds good. They all sound great. But...
Yeah, the acrylic one's super, it's just dry. Like, there's not much depth to it, which I don't mind for live because, we can mold it to whatever we want. But when you're just dealing with like raw sample, when we were tracking that the huge one where we made the kick tunnel, I don't know if you knew that it's a 24, but the actual depth of it was like 16 or 14. It was like a marching kick drum almost. And we put actually no, that was the maple mahogany, sorry, that was the other 24. That one we put the Purple Heart in front and made like a giant kick tunnel,
like a tunnel. Okay, interesting.
but you like the 24 Purple Heart?
Yeah, you like, once you've got that going through speakers, through subs, you can just feel this extra sort of weight, extra subbiness going through that.
Yeah.
I know someone on the stream earlier was asking about it has more to do with the snare, but what samples I used for Polaris. I can't remember. I know it was like 5 or 6 layers of Toontrack snares, but I know the main one would have been probably like Avatar, like the original Superior Drummer 2 or Drummer 3, I can't remember, library stacked with a load of like layers and one shots. But on these presets, I've got one shots going on the kick. So you've got the main kick there, and then just got a little bit of these quite little one shots going on. So that's the main kick.
What's the purpose of that for people who are not producers like me?
That extra little push over the cliff, that little extra 10%. You know what you want to do? Just go to 11.
Just a little nugget of extra attack.
Little nugget. I mean, let's just keep the drums soloed. I'll mute the room mic so it's more obvious. That's just the main kick. And then this is one of the one shots.
Oh, wow.
But I've just got it in just a little bit, and it's just adding like a little bit of click, and the same with this one.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And it's just, instead of having to use EQ, it's just a different way of getting a color, I guess. And this one is from the Metal Machine pack, I think, like the Andy Sneap one. And I've been using that kick drum since Polaris. I think that's like a go-to. Like when we were talking to Martin from Toontrack, and he was talking about one shots, this was one of the ones I wanted to add into it because it's just always been a little bit of the kick sound for TesseracT and TesseracT
Interesting.
albums.
So
it's a little thing.
What I'm learning here is that the sound that I've got to recreate on stage is the sound of at least 3 kicks hitting simultaneously at the same time, and therefore
Well, it used to be like 6 or 7. It used to be like 6 or 7. So we're starting to narrow it down to 3.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be 2 for the next one.
It's making me understand and appreciate why. The snare always sounds so crap in our ears. Why? Oh, because there's 5 snares triggering at the same time in our ears.
Well, again, with that, sorry to interrupt you, but we were talking about this yesterday. So I know you prefer the attack, the transient snap attack of the snare, like just really short snappiness, I think.
I prefer to hear like a snare in a room. So that sound, if I'm playing live, isn't actually that helpful in my ears because it's like a snare drum in a bottle. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's over really quick, and I'm not used to hearing a snare drum sound like that.
Sure.
But when you just isolate a close mic, that's basically what a drum sounds like, and that's when you're trying to use that. That's like the default in-ear sound. But then what I actually want is a microphone over there in a room. Turn that on, and that's my snare sound.
Sure. You just like a room mic, don't you? Really,
I just like a room
dedicated live mic for you. But the thinking kind of goes with it. I had for all of these presets, I had some form of attack, transient, snappy snare drum, and I've separated it into a sustainy one. So you've got the close mics here, and I've bunged on a transient shaper and just dialed out all of the sustain, all of the ring, all of the turn that off. It's obviously more natural, but
see, that's what I like.
Okay, interesting. I thought you preferred the opposite of that. But okay, but there's a snap, and then I've duplicated that, or I've sent that to a. Oh no, I didn't. This is an X. It's a different preset. Yeah. So there's a snappy one, and then that's an X drum. Let's find that one. It's a one shot on the snare as well.
That's for a little bit
extra more. It's adding a little something again, just using it sparingly, and then that one will be the sustain. That's a sustain fader.
Oh,
sounds weird by itself. It's the Lars Ulrich fader. But
that's great.
It's just I'm just using the envelope. So you see with these on this one, I've what do you call it? I've kind of shortened the release really extremely on that one, so it's just. And on this one, I'm taking out the attack and just keeping in the release. So they're all serving their purpose. And then, play together. If we play it in context with the kit, it'll make more sense. In the context of the mix, it makes a difference because if your snare drum's getting lost, you can sometimes just use the Lars fader just to make it cut through a bit.
That's brilliant.
Then you bring in room mics, and that'll become more natural as well.
Oh, there you go. And it's those tricks that people like me, because I'm not in the same world as you when it comes to this stuff. You know, you have gone down this rabbit hole so flipping far, and I'm just like, I just want my drums to sound good. And like that type of stuff is super valuable, and that's all baked in then. So if you open up the EZDrummer and load up one of your presets, all of that stuff that is like, please make it sound good, sir, is I
mean, this is the preset from one of the demos for the website and for Instagram.
Nice.
Another thing I forgot about and realized yesterday, So we did a lot of this for the War of Being album, was tuning the snare, the sustain of the snare to the key of the song.
Yeah.
I didn't do that for this demo, but I think if you go, so you get into nitty gritty, but you could tune the sustain on that one. I think it was about there. It's going to sound a bit weird by itself, but.
Yeah. That's insane.
If you hadn't heard what the snare sounded like before, you wouldn't notice. It wouldn't sound a bit odd. It'd just be, oh, that's what it sounds like. And that's just a nice way of the snare sounding can cut through the mix, and you won't have to EQ as much because it's in the key of the song, and it's just all musical. So like doesn't work all the time, but it sometimes does.
But that's a brilliant example to be able to hear that in real time, because you hear stories of people tuning snares to like the key of the song and all that stuff for a record, and you know how what, but to be able to just A/B like that is great. And I remember doing that, or Pete helping do that for the War of Being tracks. He'd come back in after every half an hour or something and just tune the snare back up to whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, that's flipping crazy. Yeah. Imagine trying to do that live.
Yeah,
when you guys change guitars, I'd have to change the snare to... Actually, would that work?
I guess. Don't think Chris, our sound guy, would like you, but...
No, but, well, we got everything set up so that the mics... You could change the snare out without affecting the mics. But, like, when you... Go on.
You could get really geeky. You could still have your natural snare drum coming through the PA. But have a a trigger, which just triggers a sustain. So you still got your natural snare drum coming through, but just like what we've got here, like just a thing that goes hang, but different hangs, different pitches,
different hangs,
which could be triggered, in front of house. But
so the next pack we do with Toon Track is going to be the hang pack.
The hang pack,
and it's just snare transients. I reckon they'll be up for that. Now that you've put that out there, no, I love that idea. Actually, that's kind of. I mean, there's already a trigger on the snare for the gate. I wonder if we can somehow use that for a hang.
Just duplicate it.
Yeah. Oh, these are the things though that when you stack enough of these up, it makes a huge difference to the sound. It's only exploring these like fractions of a percent and adding them on, and it all compounds, and you end up with a huge sound that is awesome.
And the presets, they all kind of follow the same principle. It's just using different kit pieces.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of the processing less on this one, but doing a lot of the processing as a group, because you get less phasey artifacts if you process things as a group. You know, so like the kick drum, main, mic, and all the one shots are going to a group channel. You EQ them there. This usually works a bit better. But that's one of the presets. That was kind of like the main one, first one I made. I don't know who made these preset names. Quantum Fog, Dark Mass.
Quantum Fog. Yeah, we're having a good laugh about those earlier, weren't we? They're good names. I think Fate. Well, let's look at them again. Fate's got to be Concealing Fate.
Right.
Quantum Fog. I love the name. It's very Spinal Tap. I love that one. Continuum. They're all just like Tesseracty sounding names, aren't they?
Yeah. I think somebody was asking me on Instagram the other day about is there one that sounds like Altered State, and I think one of them was meant to be, I'm just trying to remember which one it was. Got a note somewhere. Dark Mass. I think I tried to aim for like a low tuned kind of nocturne sound on this one. Yeah, it's not going to be exactly like the album, but that was inspiration. It is quite nice just to have that sustain channel just there. If it's too hangy, you just mute it, or if you want more of it, you can have more of it. It's just a quick way of reducing or increasing that. And I've got the typical sort of parallel compression set up. And I think I just had that just on the shells, so just on the snare.
What's the going back to Noob World? What's the benefit of that?
Extra
Extra Damn.
It's just it's a old school trick of just bringing up the energy of the drum sound. But yeah, you can dial that in as much and as little as you want. Got a couple of snare reverbs on there. I was trying to emulate like a short reverb thing I do with a UAD plugin, like an 80s kind of Bon Jovi style gated kind of verb. Actually, quite a big part of the typical Tesseract sound. That I was
going to say that, yeah. When you the cannon, I call that the cannon.
Yeah.
It's just wah.
It's a bit much, but again, works in the mix. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your go-to snare on this?
It's quite.
What's the one?
It depends on the context. Like, so remember when we were in the studio a couple of months ago, and we were using one of these presets just for writing. It was perfect to just open up one of them and just got into the flow of it. I remember liking that one initially because it felt a lot like War of Being.
That is the War of Being snare.
Yeah, I thought so. The brass one was nice as well, or maybe it was the bronze. I can't remember.
I like the bronze.
One with the nice high rings. Yeah, probably the bronze. But they've all got their nice qualities.
Oh no.
The Slingerland is very nocturne, I think. Or maybe it was that much.
So that maple one was the one I bought to the studio for the War of Being tracking, and we used it for like the intro to Tender and then nothing else.
Right, yeah. Has its moments.
Has its moments, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious which one stood out to you, because I'm...
if it
was one that I didn't have, then when I get my next DW kit, I'll be like, hey DW, can you sort out the snare?
What was the what's the Zenith one? I can't remember. Well, obviously it's 3 snares at the same time, so it's a bit tricky. Purple Heart.
Yeah, that's true. I've got to get 3, and I've got to hold sticks like Wolverine in between my fingers.
Hit them at the same time. Let's just go through the other ones very quickly. But the premise of the processing is pretty much very similar throughout. It's kind of accidentally ended up a little bit Deftonesy-ish.
That definitely.
That kind of space in the room sound.
That's insane.
Sounds like a tennis, like a squash kind of. I think I hadn't done that before. I'd sent the room mics on this preset. Let's just have a little listen quickly. This room mic sending to a reverb.
Nice.
Normally I'd just do, the snare to it, but sending the room mic with just a snare in it to a reverb just felt more natural sounding. It worked quite well.
That's crazy. We've got a couple of questions in the chat that you might be able to answer. Let's see. I think I've just lost it. Is Super SD3 using a stereo track in the DAW, or is it routed out to the DAW channels?
Yeah, somebody was asking me this yesterday. I was going to bring that up later. For the purpose of this and the demos and the presets, I've done everything within Superior Drummer, or within EZDrummer. They're the same presets. But ideally, when I'm doing demos, I prefer to have everything a bit more, like a multi-track session, have like a kick channel, snare channel, route everything, each channel individually into the DAW, into Cubase, so I can route it using my own,
all your
and stuff.
fancy boxes and things. Yeah. But for like an out-of-the-box solution for, like you say, in the studio the other week, we would just
use this,
load this up, and it's like, okay, it's there. And for unless you've got a bunch of $30,000 boxes that have lovely knobs and lights on them that make percents of differences, like it's a pretty amazingly affordable alternative to have this stuff
100%
in
I noticed
one
somebody
package.
Mentioned Ghost Notes as well. Is that on? I don't know if it's on all of the things. Let's go back to the Zenith. It's in a preset. Definitely on that one. That was it. So, where is it? We set up a velocity gate, which is a weird term I never thought I'd say out loud. So all the ghost notes or any velocity under 50, like it says there, all the ghost notes will only come through the close mic, and any hit above 50, like all of the harder hits or sort of fills and stuff, they'll come through the rim mics. It's probably more of a preference thing. I just prefer ghost notes to not come through the rim mics. It gets all clouded and muddy and kind of wishy-washy sounding.
Could you do that in reality?
Not
really.
We did it. Yeah, don't know how we did it on the album. Kind of. Yeah, because I did manage to do it with War of Being. I can't remember how. Gates and expanders and stuff. There is kind of a way to, not completely, but sort of
being able to like just control the ghost notes in a mix where you just like, okay, I just want to. Because the way that I get around that is using 2 snares, like when I'm programming and for learning. So I'll have one line, which you do the same thing, I think, where you've got the main snare accents are on one snare, and then you've got ghosts on another one. Just makes it easier to control and see.
Yeah, I just use a different. We use one snare, but I'll set a different MIDI note for ghost notes, so it's separated. Yeah. But then you can also, just with this fader, bring up the level of the ghost notes. Find a section.
Like for a ghost note?
Yeah, right.
There's no ghost notes in that section.
Somewhere. There you go. Again, just handy because you just got that quick control for in the mix. Very useful. So, yeah.
Very, very cool. Is there anything else you want to show about what you did? Like
That's probably the main bits.
Okay.
Really, is just the separation of the attack and the sustain is something I hadn't done before. I didn't even feel the need to touch the toms because they just sound nice. They're probably bringing up in volume a little bit, but it's, again, like you were saying earlier, it was just nice to have that. That 18 on the right just sounds like an extension of the kick drum. It sounds great. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just spent a load of time crafting it.
It's pretty simple. As the thing that you deny yourself is that you know this knowledge, and like I've got no idea about most of what you just showed us. And I think there's going to be people in chat who are creatives and are involved in mixing and doing that kind of stuff that you do. I'm not in that world at all, which is why I asked the questions for a complete noob who doesn't know what this is. Can you explain it? And that's why I'm glad that you and Steve did the presets for this thing, because if I did it, it would sound like a trombone. I don't think it sounds like a drum kit. Your area of expertise is pretty amazing. And to be able to like knock it together for it to sound like this within one package without using external tools is pretty amazing.
It's a great sounding kit. I love it. It's just nice to have some fresh and at the same time familiar sounds, if you know what I mean. Fresh, but the same, but in a good way.
Yeah, I'm flipping loving playing along to stuff with these sounds. I was saying at the start of the stream to have like this kit finally be a thing, because the history that we've got with Toon Track, having used the stuff for ages, literally forever. Like the beginning of TesseracT was Toon Track, right? And then albums have been Toon Track. There's no denying
Some
that.
of one,
and
obviously. Yeah.
The demo process is Toon Track. We're using all these samples. I've been using the stuff on my streams and all my lessons and stuff forever, and it's just wild to have our one with our sounds. And I think it just means a lot to me personally, but also for the writing process for the next phase of TesseracT, it's getting us closer to what this is going to sound like once we've been in a studio, because it's oh, it's actually the drum sounds that we're used to and the cymbals that we're used to. We're not having to make a compromise there. And then I go and re-record it all, and it sounds the exact same. Probably. Like, we've got to get it sounding better than this somehow, which I don't know how that's even possible.
I just find it useful just writing in general, just coming up with a little riff. I've only got an hour before I have to, go and do some work or do whatever in the day, and can just load up that preset. And I know it's just a good way of jamming something, and it's going to be close to what I want it to sound like. It's just really handy for that.
Someone in the chat, Drumdorf, was saying, what's required to use these sounds? Buy a program plus buy a pack. Yes, essentially. So the program that you can load it up in, there's two programs. There's both of them by Toon Track, EZDrummer 3, EZ, the letters, and then Drummer 3 or Superior Drummer 3. And then the pack that we're talking about is the Infintiy Grid EZX, which is the TesseracT sounds, TesseracT drum sounds, and it's flipping amazing. And they're very affordable. In fact, you can get I think it's a 10-day, 7 or 10-day trial of EZDrummer, so you can check it out. And then what we're going to do in a minute is listen through a bunch of ideas that some people in the chat and some people not in the chat have made over a new TesseracT demo, not necessarily using this new sample library that we've made, but using EZDrummer, and some people have actually drummed, which is amazing. Actually hit drums over the samples. And yeah, it's I can't remember where I was going with that, because I've just lost my train of thought because I said a word that wasn't what I meant to say. But yeah, do you ever do that where you're just like, what? Where did that go? Thank you. 8-inch drum solo, please. All right. So
somebody was asking, sorry to interrupt again, but somebody was asking about Deception Part 2.
Yeah.
What sample was used for that one fill in it? And it's basically isn't just that 8-inch drum.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
I play just a couple of toms.
Like you use it once, and it's in the whole set, I think, and it's just like, right, can you mute that further now?
I've rarely used that time. I use it in Morabean. Yeah. I use it in Part 2. I use it for occasional fills, but I'm not like up on there very often.
Yeah.
It's just a nice little cutting tom when you need something to poke through. But I find that the 8-inch acrylic's actually pretty dead once you've got the trigger on it, especially for the gate. It mutes it a lot. So I'm looking forward to maybe having something different for the next round of things. Anyway, thank you very much for showing us all of that stuff. I'm sure people in chat have got some insight into this world, into your crazy world of making things sound amazing. Let's listen to some of these entries. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, I said it a moment ago, but I'll say it with better words this time. There's a bunch of folks, I think 60, maybe even more than that, recorded and programmed some drum ideas over a new TesseracT riff and submitted it over the past couple of weeks. I've listened to them all, and I've made a bit of a short list of the ones that we're going to listen to on the stream. We couldn't listen to all of them on the stream because there was so many. We'd be here for the next couple of hours. But thank you to everyone that submitted something. It's pretty amazing to have so many people involved. I had no idea how many people would submit something, and my inbox has just been going just crazy. So thank you so much if you took the time and if you made something. If you're not featured on this stream, please don't be hurt. It's just we didn't like what you did. It was rubbish. No.
Oh, the real J came out.
Yeah, that was a bit of Rodney. No, that isn't it at all. It's I went through and I listened to everything, and there was something in the performances that I chose that stood out for one reason or another. So that's the only reason. Right, let me get my mouse back. I've got to listen to them on this screen, and I've got to do some clever switching around. So just give me 2 seconds.
Assuming I'll hear it as well.
You should, because it will be on this computer and you're hearing everything. You're hearing my stereo send from this thing.
Cool.
So Give me 2 seconds.
Random snare drum.
Random snare. Here I go. So this first one is by Joey, who was the first person to actually submit one of these entries, and that's why I chose it, because if I didn't choose the very first person to get this in, it came in like 24 hours or something insane. So I've got to show this one off. So give me 2 seconds to get it loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Full screen it, and then I'll go back to the laptop. There we go. Okay, here we go. So this is from Joey. Oh, a little modulation there for a moment. Absolutely bonkers.
Do we know if these are programmed in or if they're e-drummed in? Not that it matters. I'm just curious.
This is, most of them are programmed in, so it's people have like.
Nice. Yeah, no, cool. I'm just curious.
Yeah, programmed.
Sounds sweet.
That was crazy. So I like, through most of that, you've got the kind of groove, the typical kind of thing that we do, where you've got either the offbeat, or just like the 1 and the 3. I like that little bit of modulation. That was really cool. Thank you very much, Joey, for getting that one in, and also for just being the first. That's flipping insane. Second one we've got is Brandon Brown. And let's just open this one up. So it takes a second for me to get all of this. Okay, one sec. Full screen. Let's go.
Oh, half time.
Yeah, half time.
Oh, sorry, me.
And the modulation.
Where's the one gone?
And back into the straight. And the modulation again. A little bit of bleed. Crazy.
That was cool. I swear he shifted where I think, or where I originally put the 1, like the start of the riff.
Where is
or maybe I'm just listening. Who knows? But in a way that I like, because I didn't expect it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Who was that again? What was
that? That was Brandon Brown. I like that one a lot.
Brandon Brown.
The modulation in that was a lot of fun. Let's get another one up. Thank you, Brandon Brown. We've got Andrew Balboa, and this is ridiculous. Like, there's no one that's playing this on the drums, which is why I chose this one. As in, like, no one would play this on the drums because it's just so ridiculous. Let's get back to our screen. There we go. So I'm changing screens so much, guys. It's so that you don't see all of my secrets. Right, here we go.
Can you feel that?
That's all right. It's like Dillinger levels of bonkers. I love it. Then he slips into a groove.
Neat. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Crazy. So that one...
We have ones at home.
Yeah, there's like... I like that idea just because there was moments where it slips into a groove and then the rest of it is just like... I don't even know who one is. Like, there's no time signature. It's just like it's just drumming creativity. I challenge a drummer to play any of those moments that isn't currently the drummer for Dillinger Escape Plan. That's basically what I thought when I heard that one. Thank you very much, Andrew, for your creativity with that one. We've got Dale Poonty, and this one. I hadn't heard a sound like this before, so I just thought I'd put this one in the pot. It was real creative. Just give me 2 seconds to get it open. Here goes. So many ghosties. Dirty. There's a moment of modulation there. I love it. Crazy.
I feel like he managed to accent the like the slide more so than on the others.
Well,
which hadn't, emphasizes it. Kind of cool.
Yeah, there was just something to that. I enjoyed the effort that they went to actually put like time signature on the screen when that was happening. But yeah, just the gritty. I know the grittiness is probably the sound of the kit as well, but I hadn't heard that before, so I liked it. So thank you very much, Dale, for that one. We've got David Gillespie up next. Let's get this loaded. And full screen. And here we go.
We've got an Earth.
We've got an Earth.
An Earth. So snap on the snare. What's going on?
What is going on?
In a good way. Yeah, that's good.
It's also so bonkers. Sick. With the fire. Oh man.
I like that.
Yeah, this like starts in earth, ends in fire. So I love that.
That's good.
again, just the production quality of not just the audio but the video is brilliant. That one stood out to me as well. I enjoyed how fun it was. Like, there's something there's just loads of fun about that one. Thank you very much, David, for the effort that you've put into that, mate. We've got, I'm going to mispronounce this surname because it's JXNK. I don't know how you pronounce that. Phase, I don't know how you say it, I'm sorry. This is another one that's absolutely impossible drums. So, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's go. I like that. A little bit of bleed.
Wait, might like that.
Jeez. It's so insane. But
that's the first one, where we've just had a solid backbeat.
That's what I'm saying. It was,
so you can just nod your head to it, which is the most important thing. So
I
cool. I like that one, and it's fun as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's not knocking any of the ideas so far. The thing that we like to do in Tesseract is like keep some kind of continuation. So even though there's some maths going on underneath, there's an ostinato, whatever, we're locking into that. The job of the drums is to create a constant that is dealing with these maths, but also providing something that's like, oh, okay, I can nod my head there. And that's the first one where that constant, even though the drums are mental, that constant is there all the way through. So that's, I like that one a lot. Let's get back and do the next one. So that was Phase. I'm going to...
Before we go on to the next one, just quickly, somebody mentioned was Altered State programmed on Toon Track, and just thought I'd say yes, it was.
Was Altered State?
I think it was a Slingerland snare on a lot of it for Nocturne and Exile, that kind of low, thwappy sort of snare sound, which is very similar to one of the snare drums on the Infinity kit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just thought I'd chime in with that.
Thank you very much. Let me get back to my screen. The next one is, again, a surname I'm not going to be able to pronounce. Chris Mpegnis. I don't know how you say that. This is another one that had like a good sense of continuation, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with the cube.
Sure. Okay. Very cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
Again, just continuation through that one. I thought was quite nice.
Nice and groovy.
Nice
I like
and groovy.
it. Solid.
Thank you very much, Chris. We've got a couple more to get through. We got this is Vic. You with your surnames. I don't know if this is surnames or YouTube names or just a surname in an email. Katayurov. Vic Katayurov. I don't know how you say it. You'll know if it's yours, Vic. Thank you very much, Vic. This is. I thought this had a really interesting start. Some lovely flowy moments. So let's get into this one. I wish YouTube wouldn't just instantly start when I open this thing. Anyway, first world problems. Let's go. I like that.
Full time. Sounds kind of a little bit Vestapiary,
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was cool. I thought there's a lot of variety, but they still managed to keep it flowy. Like there was, I don't know, some nice transitions in that one.
What was the name of that one?
Vic Katlyarov.
Vic Cat.
Vic Cat.
Also,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you mind turning on your original sound for musicians setting on Steam on Zoom again?
Is it off?
It seems to have switched off. It goes all
is
weird sounding, doesn't it?
weird.
Don't worry if not. But...
It's definitely on. So we'll
okay,
see.
never mind.
Okay. No, I've turned it off and on again, so it might just reset it. All right, we got next up. We got Albin Larnham, who this is wild. They extended the track, so they like wrote more of the track, which was like,
That's
what
cool.
are you doing? So you'll
give
enjoy
you one
this.
riff, so it's cool that they've actually played a bit.
Full screen. Boom. Let's go.
Don't forget pedal hat. Is there going to be a drop? Is there going to be a drop?
I don't know if there's going to be a drop. I think it's just going to reverb out.
Bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah. I love it. So yeah, they fucking extended it out, made it sound all TesseracT, which is really cool. I like that a lot.
Sorry, I only gave everyone like one riff. It was quite hard to find something that we didn't want to actually use for future material as well.
Yeah, definitely. But that was, I mean, I think that's enough material for people to like get into. It's also, it's not just like a straight 4/4 thing that's easy to just like get into super quick, is it? You know, you've got to listen to that, realize where things are, probably just if I was listening to that for the first time without having heard any drums over it, I'd have to really think about where the kicks are going to go, whether it's going to be a triplet fill or just a straight fill or a half. Like, there's all these options you got to make. It's not an easy thing to do because it's a difficult riff. But
yeah.
Did good, sir. Did good. Let's get into another one. We got Danny up next, who was the first person that I saw doing the competition who actually used the Infintiy Grid, which I thought, well, I'm going to put that in, aren't I? So let's go. And there's really, really nice flow to this idea as well. Nice.
Very cool. Solid one.
Yeah,
well
just solid all the way through. I like it gives a hint that it's going to modulate in some of those fills and then doesn't, which is
There's
like
one
a little tease, just a little tease. All right, we've got a couple more, and then there's a few that I want to show, which is people that actually played the drums over it, which is flipping insane.
Yeah, sweet.
This is Paul Thomas with the next one. Banging.
That's cool. Good little step.
Yeah. The cheap beats.
Cheap beats. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Little fell silent.
Yeah.
See, I really like that one. That's
that was tasteful.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was tasteful. I enjoy that one a lot. It's going to be difficult to choose
decision,
winners from this.
Alright.
We got one more. This is Jamelin. And it goes like this. Oops.
Nope.
Full screen. Why do you know full screen? One sec. Let's try opening it again. There we go, it's better.
That's fun. What's going on over the left side? That sounds cool.
Yeah, man.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, well done. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to
Yeah,
whittle
I
them down
know.
to 3, is it? They're all really good.
They're all really good. So, there's so many good ideas. There's literally so many good ideas. There's more that I want to show that of people that have played. But I think what would be fair is if we each choose one from from the ones that we just did, that we just played. I've made a little note, like little stars next to the short list that I've got. I don't know if you've got any that stood out, but if we each choose one of them, and then there's one more, which is I'll choose from the people who drummed, because that's like a nice way to set it up, I feel like. Have you got one that stood out?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've whittled it down to 8. They were really good.
Well done. Well, that's well whittled. Congratulations. You've got to get it down to 1.
Well whittled. That sounds so British. Jolly good whittling. Obvious one for me is going to be, well, it's between 2, I'd say, between the JXK, Juksk, the one you couldn't pronounce the second name of, and Albin something. Apologies for lack of name.
That's all right. I'm just getting up my notes here so that I can see mine without changing my screen. So I'm...
Jamie Whittle.
So you're between, Phase, and what was the other one, sorry?
Between JXK or something like that.
Yeah, that was Phase.
Yeah, that one. And so I had the cool backbeat on it. And Albin, they had the extension where they made their own little...
Yeah.
Is that cheating? I don't know. Maybe that's unfair. But...
No, I don't think it's cheating. There was no rule to like get more creative with it. So
no.
Okay, so you got 2 people that are fighting over pole position right now. You got to choose between 1 or 2.
I'll go for the Albin one
because of the extension.
Yeah,
I like that as well. You know what? Phase is on my list as well. I've got
Which
Phase.
one was that, sorry?
JXNK, that one.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Right. Yeah.
I'd also got Albin. Well, I'd already shortlisted all of these because they were ones that I liked.
Sure.
I think I'm going to go with Phase as well. You know,
there
was something. There was something that just stood out. All of them stood out. All of them were great. That's why I shortlisted them. But the drums were just like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone that did something for this, thank you so much.
They're all very tasty, very solid. It's very cool.
I will say I had quite a few emails come in later than the deadline, and I think a couple of them people might be in chat. If it came in after the deadline, I haven't included it in this because I've needed time to... The reason there was a deadline is because we anticipated quite a few, and I've had to go through and listen to them all. I had some come in last night, and I haven't had time this morning while setting up for the stream to like go through and listen to them and add them to all of this. So I apologise that you may not have made it, but you also didn't play by the rules, so you know. But yeah, I'll go through and listen to things after the fact, and I'll get back to everyone with a reply. Because again, the other thing that was amazing as part of this, which I didn't mention, was so many people had really nice messages. They didn't just submit the link; they were like sending a really nice message to us, and just thanking us for being TesseracT, and for, the kind of messages that we get at VIP when people meet you and shake your hand and say nice things. So yeah, thank you to everyone that sent something in, for spending the time with the riff, for getting creative with it, but also for the nice messages that have landed in my inbox as well. I appreciate it a lot.
What's funny is I can't remember how the original demo of that went. Somebody was asking, do we get to hear how the original demo went. I have no idea. Don't know where it is either.
I can't remember how the original one went. But,
No.
Nikki plays guitar.
A lot of these were better.
I think Nikki did one that I watched last night, and it was playing guitar with Toon Track at the top, like a YouTube story. I think it was really cool. Right, awesome. Let's have a little. Oh, hang on a second. I've just opened all my crap. Right. These are the performances, right? I've got to choose a performance from people that have played to the drums over these things. Sorry, just to confirm, the two winners so far of the three that we're choosing was FaZe, whose name I can't pronounce the second name, and Albin, was it that you chose, who extended the track?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys will be receiving a copy of EZDrummer 3 and an EZX of your choice, and it can be the new one, the Infintiy Grid, that is the TesseracT one, or it can be whatever you want. And thank you very much for spending the time in doing this that you did, because it sounded bloody brilliant. And now, without further ado, we've got some people playing drums over this, which is taking this to the flipping next level, if you ask me. You've got to compose it and then learn it, which is ridiculous. This is MEC. Why isn't it letting me go full screen? Sorry, YouTube's being a...
Remember my first computer?
It's just not playing ball. Hang on a sec. Still not playing ball. There we go. Done it. With the modulation.
It sounds hard. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. I've gone there. Went to Metallica at the end.
Yeah, craziness. So, that was the first person that submitted something that was on the drums, and I think I
heard that one on Instagram actually.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 modulations in there, which was sick. So MEC, thank you very much for that, mate. I think MEC might be the name of the band. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the name of the person or the band. It's like Pliny. It's both, maybe. Now we got another one. One second. This is this one was actually insane. Florian Tabot. This is kind of crazy. Coming back into that groove before it's there. It's brilliant.
Yeah. That was tight.
Yeah, that was tight. That's what I'm saying. Nice. I thought that was brilliant. I really like the implying the coming back into the groove before the groove has been established, which I thought was a really, really cool thing that they were doing there. I I like that one. I do
Really
like
interesting to hear people just put their own perspective on it, because
Yeah.
it's usually completely different to what I or we'd hear
Yeah.
as well. So it's interesting. It's refreshing. Yeah, it's cool.
Right. Let's get the next one up. This is Sam Bickmore. This is mental. Sam is 13.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's 13.
Curious.
This is kind of crazy. I don't know how I don't think I can full screen it's a story, so you're just gonna have to get it kind of windowed like that, but that's fine. Okay, here we go. Mental. It just replays and replays. That was bonkers. It's like 13.
Impressive.
Flipping
Wow,
heck.
that's crazy.
That's around the age that I started drumming. To be able to do that's absolutely crazy. Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
don't really have
Impressive.
words. I could not do that at that age. To internalize where that shift is, like to jump back and come in time, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well done,
I can't do
Sam.
that now.
Yeah, I can't do that now, let alone when I was 13. Right. Next one, Chad Mumford, and I thought did a really great job interpreting the groove. So let's get this one up. That's cool. Yes. Yeah, there's like loads of ideas going on in that one.
I like that one. There's always like little, some of them they're all great, but you get these elements from each one which just really stick out, like little pieces, little nuggets.
I'm finding the exact same thing.
Really stick out.
There's exactly the same. There's a moment in each one where you're like, okay, I haven't heard that yet, and it just pokes out as a little bit of like just completely original creativity, which is kind of the point of doing an exercise like this. All right, next up we got let's see, Michael Linden also did a really great job behind the kit internalizing this one.
Okay.
Yeah, like real kit. Open-handed as well. Nice. crazy. I
Damn,
love
it's
hearing where people are hearing the modulation shift. I love hearing the fill lasts longer than it does in my brain, and people bring the groove in sooner, or they play the fill out longer, and
Totally.
I find that really interesting.
Like the hang, like the bit where you're doing the
The
typewriter
hang.
riff and you do that.
Yeah, the ching.
To do the ching. Is it a short ching or a long ching?
Yeah. People don't know what we're talking about. The typewriter riff. You've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, or you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And we typically do the latter one where we'll play this 7 out while keeping just a quarter note pulse over it. But what we're finding in
Yes.
does that make any sense? I in my mind it makes perfect sense, but I'm also strange. Well, I know that the things that happen in my brain are not the things that happen in most normal people's brains. So I can only summarize that I'm not normal because I think of these things quite often. Anyway, we've all got our things, and this is my thing. If I didn't have that as a thing, I wouldn't be drumming in this band. Let's
They eventually glue together and make sense.
It does eventually glue together and make sense. Let's get into another one. This is come on. Pierre Andre Roy. Come on.
No. Nice. Tasty.
Same thing's going on
Very
with
cool.
that. It's like really nice continuation, and then the typewriter fill to get back in, and it has to be so precise to play those kinds of fills to get them to do what you want them to do. So yeah, we've got to choose. We've got to choose from all of those.
Can you play barefoot?
He was playing barefoot. Can I? Did you say?
Can you play barefoot? Would that be hard?
I don't enjoy it.
Don't you?
No, it kind of just
I'd rather not.
feels like, I don't know, it's not
Just
comfortable. I like playing in like thin-soled shoes. I wear them Allbirds
Plimsolls.
shoes and plimsolls, yeah, flip-flops. I have to have like a bendy shoe, but I don't enjoy barefoot or sock playing. It kind of feels like, have you ever tried like driving your car in barefoot or socks, or like it's just like ow,
Go wee.
like what? Why? Yeah, I don't know.
Curious. No, fair enough.
Not for me. Can you play guitar with your feet?
Yes, I can. Shall I show you?
No, I'm all right, mate. leave that for tour. You could make a lot of money doing that on the internet, probably.
Me.
Um,
Only toes.
Only toes, yeah. That'll be the next TesseracT record. Anyway, so again, awesome performances by everyone. Thank you so much for spending the time. I think there were even some more that came in a little late for me to get through and put it into the entry, which I apologize if you did drum and I've missed it so far. But yeah, please don't take that to mean that I dislike you or the thing that you did. You missed the deadline. Right, we've got I've got a bit of a short list. So there is 4 on my short list of 6, which means it's a long list. It means I haven't done a good job shortlisting it. I'm going to get it down to 2 in my mind. Have you got anyone who you think? Was there any of those that you thought were like...
Florian, very tight, solid.
Yeah.
It was the second one, I think.
It was Florian.
Again, they're all really good, really hard to choose, but that was just a nice, tight, solid one. It stuck out for me.
I thought what Sam did for being 13 was amazing. I really enjoyed Pierre's as well at the end, because it was just flowy as well. Florian was just solid all the way through, which I thought was great. So, yeah, Florian, my friend, congratulations. You will be receiving EZDrummer 3, an EZX of your choice, which could be this delightful one on screen. And you'll receive a copy of the MIDI pack, which is the new thing that came out a week or so ago, which means that you can start with loads of like grooves and things in your songs if you choose to. I was recommending to a couple of my students the other day, you got all these grooves that are loaded up, like ready to go in these Toontrack libraries, and there's a load that are already built into the Infintiy Grid, and you can hear these like this. And they're all based around like TesseracT grooves, basically. Some of them are slow, some of them are not slow. But you can just grab these and drag them into your groove situation down here, and then you can change the kit that you're using up here, and it'll just play the drums for you, which is amazing. Now, you can get another 500 or so of those in the new MIDI pack that came out the other day, and that is what Florian has won in addition to the other cool prizes. So there we go. That was a load of fun. I think we've done a good job showing off the features of this wonderful library. I just want to thank Toontrack again for working with us on this thing. It's something that we've wanted to make a reality for quite a long time, and it's been a bucket list item for me to have my own sounds, my own kit as a library, and specifically with Toontrack as well because of the history. So I just want to...
I've always used them. And I remember speaking to Matthias from Toontrack like 12, 13 years ago, like, any chance we could do something together? And it kind of like, I'd like to. It never really, nothing came to fruition until recently, of course, but it's nice that it eventually did, because, go way back.
We do go way back. And it was a really wonderful session as well. Like, you never know what it's going to be like when you're working with people, even for a short amount of time. But the guys were really nice. We had some nice evenings and lunch. We'd get ordered in, and we'd all sit around in like the studio lunch area and just chit chat and have a good laugh. And it was really nice. I got fond memories of that time. And tell you what, it also did. It broke my back.
Okay.
Since doing that session, for some reason my lower back has been hurting, and I think it's a coincidence that I am also 41. And I think I was bending over doing drum heads and nothing like happened, but I just have had a lower back thing since then. So cheers Toontrack for the knackered back. Really appreciate that. No, but but yeah, we're really happy this is out in the world. What's even funnier, a couple of weeks ago, before it had been released, some of my drum students were talking in my Discord chat about EZDrummer libraries or Superior Drummer libraries, which ones they should get. And I couldn't say anything because it hadn't been released, and they're talking about all the ones they're going to get, and I'm like, oh, just wait a minute and get my one. But no, the conversation that I've seen so far, people that have been using this, feedback has been amazing. If you're using it already, I'd love to hear what you think. Jump in my Toontrack. You can get the link from most of my bios, and just thank you again to Toontrack, and thanks for you for making these awesome presets for it as well.
Thanks to you as well, Jay, for being a drummer, a very good one.
That's all right, mate.
That's it. Somebody's been asking in the chat for ages about creative blocks.
Go on.
Then if you've seen that message.
I haven't looked. If I'm honest, I've been focused on this screen. I'm sorry, chat, that I've not been loving you as much as I should have been.
Did you have any methods for trying to break a creative block?
Are you asking me, or are you saying it and then you're going to answer it?
Not both of us, I guess.
I mean, I can speak to it a little bit and then you can jump in. Yes, methods for creative block. A really cool trick that it kind of guarantees that you end up with something that you like is just to reimagine the process as just changing one thing. So, let's say when we are in the studio, when we were in the studio the other week, right? We were in September. We were in a studio in the UK, coming up with some new TesseracT things. And it was the first time we were in a studio where the sole intention was to write, rather than going in with pre-fleshed out tracks, and we're like trying to record these things. And the process that I had, which never really fails me, is start with a snippet of an idea, which can be an existing song, right? It doesn't have to be something that you're writing from scratch. You can write over someone else's thing. So you write different drums to that thing and then strip away the music so you're left with the drums, and then you can compose other things to the drums. And when we were in the studio, there were these little snippets of demos and ideas that we had. And I'd create like a little loop point that was, if the idea is like, let's say it's a bar and it's 4/4, why don't you create a loop that is 6/16 notes of that bar, or make it so that it's 3 of the quarter notes of that bar, and you copy and paste that into the future, or just loop it. And then we would just record over this new loop of this bit of a riff. And you might take out the chuggy guitar because you don't necessarily want to local in on that. You might just leave like the synthy ambient stuff, but you've got something that you can lock onto that's a starting point. And then after that point, it's just change one thing. So start out with a basic beat, which is where you might start out, and then, what if I do a syncopated snare so it's not in the same place? What if I play a dotted pattern on the right hand instead of this straight pattern? What if it's double kick instead of a single kick? And you can just make these decisions, and one thing will sound better than another thing, and then when you land on something you like, the next decision just kind of gets easier. And sometimes you might hit that roadblock, and it can be helpful to step away. But again, stepping away can just be going and getting a coffee and then coming back. You just need a breather sometimes. So change one thing is the process. But go on, you jump in.
I was going to say that just taking a break, essentially, like when we were away for that week for writing, just I think 2 beats or sort of main sort of themes or motifs, whatever you want to call it, came when we might have had a melody down or a rough idea, wasn't really going anywhere. Take a break, went for a shower, and then I had a drum beat in my head going and I had to be like, quick, get back into the studio, just quickly put the rough version of what's in my head. Just stepping away from it can help.
Programmed it in, didn't you?
Yeah. And also just not forcing it, but just turning up, for lack of a better term, just forcing yourself to do it and getting into the room, be it put a guitar on or get your drum kit, and even just putting something down, even if it's 30 minutes of poop, that might eventually turn into something or lead you somewhere. And also going with the mindset of just approaching things differently, which is easier said than done, but just trying to avoid that mentality of just doing it, basically. Yeah
I think
so not trying to avoid it.
I like the idea of I heard this some point in the past year or so, which is like there's no cherished outcome for this thing. Like you want to turn up and it's like the most amazing thing immediately, because of course we all want that. But if you're going in purely for the process of creation rather than like, okay, I've got to make this thing, it's harder when there's a solid deadline and when you've got to make something, because you might not have the idea that you really want. It just might not happen in that moment. But turning up and just like, we didn't know how much material we were going to write when we were in the studio the other day. The objective was write, and it was like, we might end up with a riff or 2 riffs, but we ended up with like 3 songs kind of, and like you couldn't have predicted that at the start of it. But the thing that I thought was particularly useful in that session, which we mentioned earlier, was, well, probably not in this much detail. We would loop a little section of the song, and then we'd be in, like me, you, and Amos would be in the live room, and we would be playing, and it was mostly crap. It was fun, but like what we were playing was just like we weren't locking into math or anything. We were just kind of listening to little bits of each other and then trying things. So you got 20-30 minutes of like mostly throwaway stuff, but then there's a couple of bars of like, oh, that's like good. And when that happened, we'd run back into the control room, and I'd program the idea in using this, and we'd then have like a really nicely recorded version of it, programmed version of it, that we could then elaborate on, and then I can do the process of change one thing. So we've got this version of the groove. Yeah. Oh, what if we modulate it? What if we do this to it? And then you just go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
let's get into that point. Anyway, that was a tangent, but
no, that was good. I like that. Yeah. Have you got any time for like a couple of questions, or have you got to hop?
I think we're good for should be good for 10 minutes. We'll say.
Okay, yeah. Let's put a hard deadline on 10 minutes. Have we got any other questions in chat that we can jump in? Because I know you guys have been asking things while I've been talking, and I haven't been able to get in there. Let's see, chat. Should play some elevator music while the latency of the stream to the chat
please. Oh yeah.
I used to do that on Twitch. Oh yeah, flipping heck.
As long as it's not a Freemason elevator.
Yeah. Long story short, we got stuck in an elevator on the last US tour in like 100-year-old elevator in a Masonic temple, and it was terrifying. Any resources for getting started with programs and a Roland E kit? Any resources for it? Get yourself a Roland kit. Get yourself EZDrummer. That's all you need. EZDrummer opens standalone. You don't need to load it up in a DAW in Cubase or whatever. It just opens as a program, and you plug it in either via MIDI from your interface, from the Roland module into the interface, or you can just go USB from the module into the computer. That's all you need to get started. And then within the Toon Track software, it's pretty easy. You can click on the MIDI settings down the bottom, and you kind of choose the kit that you have, and it'll put most of the settings in that you need. And then if anything isn't working, like you've got an extra cymbal or it's not triggering the sound that you want, it's really easy. You just select the one that you want, you hit the learn button, and then you hit the pad in real life and it assigns it to that one. So it's really easy. It's gotten easier over the past few years as well. They've put a lot of thought into some of the updates to the software, and it's got really, really easy. Do you need more than a MacBook laptop to run it? No, Macs are really good for it. The Macs are good for audio generally. I'm using a Windows laptop at the moment, but just because I have it spare, I'm probably going to get or use my little MacBook Air for it, it's just an M2 MacBook Air, and it runs absolutely fine with, I think, 24 RAM, which is a lot, but if you've got 16, you'll be totally fine. The new MacBooks, I think, someone got one of those, one of my students the other day, and said it runs with like imperceivable, is that a word? Latency, like next to no latency. So, yeah. You'd be good
like
to
you were
go
saying
with
at the start of the stream, we were talking about the RME interfaces, because that's what I use here. And we've used it in TesseracT since day one, RME. So you can use 32 samples for the buffer settings. You get, 1 millisecond of latency, or maybe 2 perhaps. It's tiny. But we're using that again at the latest studio session. We had like 24 tracks or something crazy of audio in the live room running into this computer, and we had EZDrummer open as well, loads of plugins, all in one project, so we could kind of jam and mess around with EZDrummer all in one session. And this is more of a praise for RME, that it just they're really good at not breaking. They're just tanks for that kind of stuff.
Luna says in chat they got an M4 Mac, and it's honestly overkill for Superior 3. So yeah, it doesn't require a stupid amount. I think the minimum RAM requirements are 12 gig. So if you got 16, I think, I don't know if that's someone said that in one of my students the other day. So If you've got 16, you'll be totally fine. I only notice it starts to break up a little bit on this computer if I'm running loads of things. If I've got Cubase and Superior and a bunch of browser windows and things open, I'll just close it down to just the things I need, because you've got to prioritize information being received from kit, process it in real time, output sound, and that's going to take a tiny amount of time, but you want to reduce the latency on that as much as you can, so close things that you don't need open. All right, I can't actually see any other questions. I guess we've bored everyone. Everyone's like, oh, don't need to know about this.
We've got quite techie.
Starting
to talk about RAM. So.
Yeah. Yeah, when you start talking about RAM, everyone's like, all right, see you in a bit, mate. I'll play a song then. I'll play a song to round it out. And yeah. Thank you very much, Acle, for hanging out with me. Where can you download more RAM? Can't do that, mate, unfortunately. Let's play a song. I've got a couple lined up here. All right, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you. Thanks for having me.
See you. I don't know when I'll see you next. When we're recording, I guess.
Next year.
Or the next
we'll figure that out.
Zoom chat with the band.
In a bit, mate. Have a good one.
That was fun. See you in a bit.
Doodles.
All right, guys. I'm going to switch over from Acle's program to mine real quick. Let me just do that here. Come on. Here we go. Okay. What song shall I play? I know the song I'd like to play, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and play it. Yes, I flipping love that song. That fill. I love playing that. So much fun. It sounds even better now that it's on this beautiful drum kit. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. What a flipping time that was. I love live streaming. I forget when I don't do this that I have a lot of fun doing this. It's one of those things that has fed really well into the teaching side of things that I do and clinics and that kind of thing. So yeah, maybe I should do this more often if you guys enjoy it. And thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you once again to Toon Track for everything, for making this whole thing a reality for me, which has been crazy, absolutely crazy. I hope you really enjoy using the sounds that we've created. We've put a lot of effort and a lot of time into this. And yeah, man, if you use something, if you create something using these sounds, drop us a link into Discord. I'd love to hear what you're coming up with. And till the next time, have a lovely time and enjoy getting creative. And I'll see you soon.